In a world connected by the internet and global travel, there exists a place shrouded in mystery, isolation, and secrecy, a land so closed off that escaping its borders is nearly impossible. This is the story of North Korea, the world's most secretive and isolated country. Join us as we explore the enigmatic world of North Korea, a country known for its extreme isolation. North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, has a population of approximately 25 million people, all living under the strict and watchful eye of the Kim regime. The country was established in 1948 following the Korean War, and since then, it has been ruled by a single family dynasty, the Kim family. The current leader, Kim Jong-un, inherited power in 2011 after the death of his father, Kim Jong-il. For decades, North Koreans have faced severe restrictions on their freedom. The government controls every aspect of life, from the media they consume to the places they can travel. Despite these oppressive conditions, many North Koreans have attempted to flee the country in search of a better life. But escaping North Korea is not just a simple matter of crossing the border. It's a perilous journey, fraught with danger at every turn. Before we delve into the harrowing escape attempts, it's essential to understand why North Koreans are so desperate to leave. The country's economy is in shambles, with widespread poverty and malnutrition. According to the United Nations, around 42% of the population is undernourished. This dire situation is exacerbated by the government's prioritization of military spending over humanitarian needs. As a result, many North Koreans live in conditions that are hard to imagine in the modern world. Now, let's talk about the escape routes. Most North Koreans flee through China, despite the significant risks involved. The border between North Korea and China stretches for about 1,420 kilometers and is heavily guarded. Defectors often choose to cross the Yalu or Tumen rivers, which mark the boundary between the two countries. These rivers freeze over in winter, making it slightly easier to cross. However, getting to China is just the beginning of a treacherous journey. Once in China, defectors face new challenges. China does not recognize North Korean defectors as refugees. Instead, they are considered illegal immigrants. Chinese authorities regularly hunt for defectors, and when caught, they are forcibly repatriated to North Korea. Upon return, defectors face severe punishment, including torture, imprisonment, and even execution. The fear of being sent back makes the journey through China incredibly dangerous. To avoid detection, defectors rely on brokers, people who specialize in helping North Koreans escape. These brokers charge exorbitant fees for their services. In 2007, the average cost of hiring a broker was around $2,000. By 2021, this price had skyrocketed to over $21,000. For most North Koreans who earn less than $2,000 a year, these fees are nearly impossible to afford without outside help. Often, family members who have already escaped and found work in South Korea or other countries save up money to help their relatives. The journey to freedom usually involves traveling through China to a third country such as Thailand, Vietnam, or Mongolia, where defectors can seek asylum. They often travel by night, hiding during the day to reduce the risk of being caught. In recent years, the situation has become even direr. Since Kim Jong-un came to power, the North Korean regime has implemented increasingly stringent measures to prevent defections. Surveillance within the country has become more rigorous, with greater monitoring of internet and cell services. Domestic travel restrictions have also been tightened, requiring North Koreans to obtain proper authorization and paperwork to move from one province to another. Being caught without these documents can result in imprisonment. Moreover, in December 2020, the North Korean regime passed the Reactionary Ideology and Culture Rejection Act. This law heavily criminalizes the reception of any information or objects from the outside world and bans the possession of non-government sanctioned cell phones. Smuggling and distributing foreign media, such as South Korean dramas or American movies, is punishable by public execution. Even watching or reading foreign material can result in a 10-year prison sentence to hard labor. These laws have made it nearly impossible for North Koreans to access outside information and communicate with the world beyond their borders. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic, which provided the North Korean regime with a new pretext to tighten its grip on the country. In January 2020, North Korea was one of the first countries to completely seal its borders, citing the need to keep the virus out. All international flights were cancelled, and nearly all foreign trade was halted. The regime established buffer zones along its northern borders with China and Russia, with orders to shoot anyone attempting to cross without permission. Since the pandemic began, North Korea has constructed extensive new fortifications along its borders. Satellite imagery has revealed hundreds of kilometers of newly built walls, fences, barbed wire, and guard posts. These fortifications have sealed off nearly all the historical routes used by defectors and smugglers for decades. The once porous northern border has become nearly impenetrable, making escape attempts even more dangerous and difficult. As a result of these measures, the number of successful defections has plummeted. In 2019, before the pandemic, 1,047 North Koreans managed to escape to South Korea. By 2020, this number had dropped to just 229. In 2021 and 2022, the numbers were even lower, with only 63 and 67 successful defections, respectively. The trend in 2023 has shown no significant improvement, with only 34 defections recorded in the first quarter of the year. North Korea has effectively become the largest prison in human history, with its population trapped in a digital and physical fortress. The Kim regime has utilized advanced technology to control and monitor its citizens. State-sanctioned phones, which are the only ones legally allowed, cannot connect to the internet or make international calls. They come pre-installed with state-sanctioned software that disables all foreign files and regularly takes screenshots of user activity, which are then inspected by the police. Foreign-made phones, once smuggled into the country, have become a thing of the past due to the stringent border controls. This digital isolation prevents North Koreans from accessing outside information and communicating with the world beyond their borders. North Korea stands as an example of how a regime can use isolation, surveillance, and technology to control its population. As the world continues to grapple with issues of internet censorship and digital freedom, North Korea remains a sobering reminder of the lengths to which some governments will go to maintain control. Subscribe to Truth Revealed to stay intrigued and informed.